back to another episode of Cooking with the Mexican. Today we're going to be making a stew. This stew is from the state of Jalisco, which is called pozole. Pozole is a wonderful meal to have in the evening with family and friends. It takes a little while to make the pozole. If you're making it from scratch, you want to make sure that you cook the night before. You cook your nixtamal in lime, and then you wash it over and over. If you're not gonna do that process, I highly recommend that you go to the supermarket. I go to a supermarket called Cardenas, and they have incredible products. I purchased the nixtamal already, not in a can. I make sure that I purchase it pretty much ready, and then I can just boil it. Then I use 3 types of pork. I'm gonna be using pork shoulder with bone, the spine, espinazo, and then I'm going to be using pig's feet. Then I'm going to be using chile guajillo, chile ancho, and bay leaves. And then I'll go through the process. I'll have onion, garlic, and then my garnish will be cabbage and radishes. Welcome to this episode of Cooking Pozole. Once you've washed all your nixtamal and you've cleared it until where the water comes out crystal clear, and now you've already washed your meat too, and you want to make sure that you soak your meat in sea salt for about an hour previously. It just cleans out the meat a bit. Wash it out, and then you're ready now to start cooking. We have our nixtamal here, and we have a much larger pot. I don't cook the meat with the nixtamal. I leave the meat separately for now. When the nixtamal is ready, then I will introduce the meat over to this area. Some of the meat anyway, not all of it. So I go ahead and bring my nixtamal here, and I put it into my pot. Okay, and I have my nixtamal here, and that's ready. Then I'm ready to go ahead and I put in a whole onion, and I cut the top of the onion off. And I just place the onion here. Then I get 2 garlic cloves, and again, I just cut the top portions of it, and then I place them here in the pot. Now we're ready to go ahead and put in our meat, and we're going to go ahead and boil the meat separately. I put the nixtamal on the flame, and remember, no salt in the nixtamal. What we're going to do right now is we're going to go ahead and add 1 onion, and we're just going to coarsely cut it, and we're actually going to leave it intact like this. I usually like to make like a cross here, like on here, and this releases the flavor of the onion into the actual mix, and then we can actually take the onion out intact, full. We don't want to keep the onion in there, we just want it for the flavoring itself. So we go ahead and put that into our larger pot, and we take a whole head of garlic, and we just go ahead and cut the tops off, and we place it straight into the pot just like that too, with all of the fixings on there. Then we go ahead and take our meat, and we have all our meat washed, and it's been sitting in salt for sea salt for a little while. We'll just go ahead and pull it out of the actual pot, place it in here. You want to put the meat in here and then check it occasionally so that it's finished cooking. Once it's finished cooking again, then we'll go through those steps with you and tell you how is it that we move it on. We go ahead and add one more thing. We want to put in 2 bay leaves and then just season with salt. We want to put in a good amount of salt actually into this right now. Once we take this out, and we'll use some of the liquid here when we put it into the actual pozole. We don't add the salt into the nixtamal until the very end. If you put the salt in early into the nixtamal will not open. It will not completely cook. So you want to leave it just boiling for about an hour, hour and a half, and then you'll go ahead and see if it's okay. If it starts to open up, then that's your time to put the salt in. We'll move on to the next step now. Now we're ready to make our salsa, our red salsa for the actual pozole. So we're going to go ahead and grab our chiles and we'll put them into our blender at this point. Okay, we'll grab all the chiles that we had hydrated previously and we boiled them just for a little bit so they can get softer. And we go ahead and put a small piece of onion into this. Since I'm not making a huge amount, sometimes I make huge pots. And then just 2 small garlics there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put in a little bit of that sauce. The water that was there that I boiled it with, I'm going to take some of it here and put it in there. If I need more, I can take more from this, and then I can take from the tap too. And then we're gonna go ahead and season. We don't have to season a huge amount, but we wanna put enough salt in. But remember, we have the meat that's gonna have its own salt. Then we're gonna later salt the nixtamal, and so then we wanna be able to test at the end. We don't wanna put too much salt in this and then over salt. So it's better to put less than more at this point. So now we've blended our chiles all together with the onion, garlic, salt, and then the liquid. You don't want to put too much liquid, you want it a little bit thick. Then we're going to go ahead and take our pan, and you can take any type of pan, and put in a little bit of oil, just so that we can, because we're going to fry this right now. But before we fry this, we want to make sure that we sift it. You want to make sure that the chile is not complete there, because you want to make sure you take out all the little remnants of the actual chili, and so you want to make sure that you do that before you actually put it inside your pozole. Some people put it in just like that. I highly recommend that you go ahead and sift through that. So once you've sifted all of your chiles in there, you want to bring it over to the stove, and then you just want to make sure that you, because you put oil in here, you want to bring it to a slight simmer or even a boil, but then much more than that, you just go ahead and simmer or boil and leave it there. Once you're ready, you're going to go ahead and put all of this, and your nixtamal is done. You're going to place it into your nixtamal. Now we're ready for the toppings. Our toppings, we usually use cabbage, and so you want to just finely cut your cabbage, and I like a large portion of cabbage on my pozole. After you've done all of your cabbage, then you want to make sure that you get your radishes, cut the edges, and what we're going to do is just cut them in slices just like this. After you've cut all of your radish, then what we do is we get lemon. In this case, we call it lemon in Spanish, only one, but here in the United States, we call this a lime. And so we go ahead and cut them into, I like cutting them into quarters, and then we use that. So then we also have tostadas, and we usually accompany this with tostadas with chile de cacahuate. And the chile de cacahuate, if you're interested in knowing how to make that, go ahead and go to this link here above, and we'll be able to give you that information on how to make chile de cacahuate or salsa de cacahuate. One more thing is that I like to put a little bit of oregano on it, and a slice of avocado. It just tops it off really nicely. Okay, the time has come. The nixtamal is ready now, and we're going to go ahead and get our meat. So we made our meat separately in the house, and we're going to go ahead and put all of our meat into our nixtamal. Now we're not going to salt just yet. We're going to allow it to simmer slowly still at this point. Then afterwards, we're going to put the salt. After we put the salt in, we'll let it actually grab onto the salt itself and get some flavoring there. Then we'll bring our chile that we created with guajillo and all of that, and we'll put that in there. And then we're pretty much, the time has come now, And we put our meat in now, and our Nixtamal is in there. We still have not added salt. We're gonna go ahead and get our chile that we created, and we're gonna put it in there. And this chile is actually gonna give flavor and color, especially color to the pozole. And now we're gonna let it simmer and for at least another half an hour, and then we'll taste and add salt, and then we're done with this portion. Okay, we're just about ready to go ahead and serve our dinner. But before I have a dinner, it's customary in our culture to have a shot of tequila. Abre apetito, we say, open up your appetite. And so we're gonna go ahead and hand out everybody a shot of tequila. There you go. Aquí tienes. Aquí tienes. And we often like to have our tequila with orange. If you've never tried it, try it. It's really, really good. Orange, naranja.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So from our house to yours, salud.
Cheers. Cheers. Cheers.
Provecho. Salud.
Delicious.
So our pozole is done, and the toppings, they could range from different things. So I typically put a bit of cabbage on top. Then I go ahead and put some radishes on top. It's really great. Then I put some avocado on top. A little bit of onion just for the flavoring there. I put some oregano, and just a small amount, enough for the flavor, and then salsa de cacahuate. Again, if you need to know how to make salsa de cacahuate, just go to this link right above here, and that'll give you the information. You place your salsa de cacahuate on top, and then the last thing I put on is I go ahead and put on my lemon, and just place that right over. Some people that I really, really enjoy and I follow along with them, they always talk about siempre con todo, and I say siempre con todo. So, salud, provecho, enjoy. Okay, we finish up our pozole, and we go ahead. You have to enjoy this within family and friends. We usually accompany it with a tostada, and so cheers to all of you, family and friends. Salud, provecho.
Salud.
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 Provecho. Dinero y amor.